Hi, thanks again for joining me. This is Steve Clark. Today we're going to go over a couple items about the slice. In general, Continental's they're your most versatile grip for chips, volleys, slices, overheads, and serves. And we obviously can. That's one thing I tell people is, it's kind of like an artist palette. It's not always just one thing. Sometimes you got to change it up. So, for example, if you're pulled really wide, it's okay to slide it over a little more so you can get on the outside of the ball. Same thing on the forehand. We see what's called a chop shot, okay? And I'll go over that sometime, but we can change our grips to match the moment. But in general, a continental grip. Now, I'm not going to so much begin with the footwork so much right now, but I will say this. When you're hitting a slice, it's really important to hit the slice and then roll out if you're being pulled wide. A lot of people don't. They hit it and then they come back. When you do that, you're actually pulling against the ball, and you don't want to do that. You want your energy to go through the ball. So in general, your slice is going to look something like that, okay? So if I'm coming up to hit that slice, okay, I want to make sure I get a good knife, okay? Now, again, I said I'll show you from the other side what that'll look like, but I want to go over a couple key features. Most people that I know start with the racket inappropriately in the back. They start with it closed. So from your angle, it looks like this. It shouldn't be. It should be open. Okay, you start with it open, and then your arm naturally supinates, naturally closes. If you just put your arm like this and let it drop, it's going to go here. It's not going to go this way. So same thing on a serve. When our body actually naturally pronates. When people supinate, that's not natural, and that's why they get injuries, okay? So the idea is we want to start open, and we close the face naturally a little bit, and then the face opens up eventually. The reason being is we're not made out of rubber, okay? So in other words, I come through, I hit the ball, and then my arm's going to extend out, and then I got to open up, okay? It's just not going to keep going at this position for very long, okay? Couple classic mistakes. People swing across the ball. You don't want to across the body. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to swing through the ball. So a lot of times what I have people do is they stand against the fence and they start their arm properly. I drop a ball for them, and then they have to work on hitting through the slice without hitting the back wall or the back tarp or the fence, wherever they're standing. The idea is to keep them from going this way, to have their energy here and be square at impact, and then go forward that way, so they can work on that, okay? So again, when we're coming back here, the one thing I want you to understand is the face is open, we stay on side, we close the face a little bit, and then follow through, okay? So open, closes, and then follows through. If you want to give it a little more loft, you just open the face a little bit and maybe slow it down a little bit. That's the other thing. The slice is not, you're not blasting it. It's a control shot, and you change it up. It's very effective. I have that on my blog in terms of the necessity of having a slice as a weapon. I think it's far too underused. You can use it to keep the ball low and force people to hit up on the ball, run around, hit forehands. Some people don't have a good slice, so you can hit a slice and force them to hit a slice and get the error. The other thing is, once you develop that ability, you can hit angles, you can hit inside-out slices, and I'll go over that when we're over here. But you can also hit very aggressive slices, and that is from the face is open and closing it down rapidly. And so now the ball really hums. So that's a very effective. Not many people do this, but the idea is if you can practice it, you close the face, and that ball was about this far over the net and landed in the corner. And you'll see some from that side, but it helps you really knife the ball. Okay? But the key is open face. As you descend, it's going to close, and then you follow through. As I mentioned before, the hand naturally closes down a little bit, and then we follow through. So I'll do another one. Okay? So that ball right there, by closing the face aggressively, I get a pretty good skid, okay? Now the other one is an inside-out slice. So what I have people do is they work on taking the ball in this position down here. It's for a lower ball. You can actually get the ball to kind of curve that way significantly. It's very good for approaches. And also, if you can imagine, you take one shot here, and they get there, and then the next one you cut like that, and see how that curved? So I can use the wind. There's a bit of a breeze out here, so it's blowing that way. So I went ahead and you actually hit on that. It's kind of like a tomahawk's up here. It's kind of a tomahawk down here. You just brush it slightly with the face slightly open and go through the ball, stay sideways, and then it's going to curve and go that way, and it's very difficult to get. And now from this angle, what I want you to see is how I'm hitting that slice. Remember, it's an open face, it closes down, and then we finish on side. So if I'm going cross court, okay, so I'm going to start with the face open and then close it as I go through. Whoops, there's one, and then another. Okay, so I'm going to work that. Now, if I want to go down the line, then I want to make sure to turn sideways and hit it on a slightly different location, okay, in terms of it's here versus here, okay? Now, I mentioned before, I kind of going after it aggressively. So I'm going to keep the face open, and then I'm going to really accelerate how I come closed on it. And here we go. So what you do is you end up hitting a very powerful skidding slice, very difficult to deal with, okay? Now, the other thing is I want to mention is hitting slices, not only are they useful because eventually you can maybe hit a drop shot off the ball, but you want to feel like you can move people around. And one of the ways you can do it is if you hit this corner, okay, and you get them moving that way, then you can also hit what's called an inside-out slice, and the ball curves that way, okay? You can use the wind, like when I did it from the other side, it really curved. There's a bit of a breeze out, doesn't have to be much. But if you can imagine a tomahawk up high, or a hammer, it's the reverse down below. So it's a chop from down below, and then we get the ball to go out like that, okay? And the ball curves that way. So I'll do a couple where I'm going to really try and get it to skid, okay? Really turn like that, okay? And then the ball stays low, and it's very difficult for people to get. The key is as you come down and descend, you keep it here. You don't want to come across your body. Your swing plane is through the ball this direction, and the face is slightly open. Not a lot, that's too flat, and this, you obviously miss the ball. So it's slightly open, same principle of a kick serve. It slightly is brushing as it hits the serve. Same thing here. It comes through, it's slightly brushing, and then you finish on side, and then the ball glances off and curves.